Hello everyone. So we are doing another research presentation, and in my research I was trying to look for sources that had already kind of fit in with the analysis and the initial book summary that I had done. So we're going to be talking about one of those today. But first let's do a little bit of an activity, just kind of like a little thinking, not really a game, but just a little thinking activity. So, when you were younger, or even now, did you ever think about prophecies and whether or not they really existed, whether or not they were really fulfilled, or if you were like me and you read a lot of fantasy books as a kid, could you be the one in a prophecy, like the chosen one? I often wanted to believe that I was, but obviously that didn't really happen. But still, in the mind of a child, these things are extremely real. So, think about that for just a minute. Do you believe prophecies are real or not? Think about it. And there's no right answer to this. Some people do, some people don't, and that's totally okay. It's just a matter of personal opinion, personal experience, things like that. So my first source that I'm going to be talking about today is called Rebelling Against Prophecy in Harry Potter and the Underland Chronicles. And this is by Chantal Lavoie, and I am still going over the Underland Chronicles, which includes Gregor the Overlander and Gregor and the Prophecy of Bane. So those two books have very central themes around prophecy. However, Chantal Lavoie, she analyzed the implication of prophecy throughout the Underland Chronicles, and she's really trying to strive to make the point that Suzanne Collins rejects the supernatural power of prophecy, and throughout Gregor's journeys, a lot of these prophecies, they either change or are molded or are fulfilled or are not fulfilled through human error. So a lot of the prophecies throughout this series can mean 5 different things, and the more you go throughout these books, the more you see them either fulfilled or not fulfilled, or they were fulfilled in a different way than what's originally expected. So many prophecies and many fantasy books that talk about prophecy all deal with a supernatural power and how prophecies were given by a divine being or by a higher being or spirits or something like that. But in the Underland Chronicles, it's written by the founder of the nation, and he doesn't have any supernatural power. He doesn't have any supernatural whatever, he's not magical or anything. It's just a man who believes he saw visions. And that's going a little bit away from the traditional fantasy series and the traditional ideas of prophecy, because traditionally, like I said, many of them have supernatural beings. So another thing that Lavoie analyzed is the fact that Gregor, he was willing to die. If you look through the first book and you read it, at the end, there's a line in one of the prophecies that basically says that the chosen one will have to leap in order to save the others. And so what Gregor does is he leaps off a giant cliff and hopes it kind of works out. It does end up working out, obviously, because there's more books. But Gregor's willingness to die is also taking everything out of religious perspective and putting it in from a human perspective. And there's one thing throughout all the sources that I analyzed is that these sources didn't really talk about how this impacted children, and they didn't really talk about how children could get different implications from the idea of non-religious prophecies or anything like that. So thank you all, and I will see you for our next presentation. Bye!